Hey everyone, Happy New Year, and thanks for being with me today. I'm really excited to do this video. It is a requested video from a question that was sent to me a couple of months ago. I want to thank Paulina for sending it. So Paulina said, "Dear Dr. Toomey, would you please make a video about what to eat and avoid eating while trying to beat depression and anxiety? I have heard some metals that can be found even in organic raw food might affect our mental stability. Is there any kind of cleansing diet that you would recommend? Thank you." And thank you, Paulina, for sending this. I really wanted to address this today. Some of you may not know, but I have a very strong personal history of healing my depression. I had very bad depression, as low as one can go, really, several years back. And in my book that's coming out in maybe a month or so, I will share more about that with you very soon. I talk about that, healing that, and how I overcame depression as well as some other diseases. So I have a personal history with this, and so I know this, and I want to share this with you because I know a lot of you out there can be struggling with this, and it's something that often people don't talk about, and there's still a lot of shame around depression and around anxiety. But it's so common. It's so common. So today I want to give you 3 answers to this question of basically what foods can we eat to heal depression. The first answer is really to, before thinking about food, to ask, why is it that you are feeling depressed or anxious? A lot of us will run from the dis-ease we are feeling, whether it's mental, physically, emotional, and say, what is the fix for this? What can I take? What medication can I take? What food can I eat? What herb can I start consuming to get rid of this? The first real pearl I want to share with you is there is such a gift in this dis-ease. I know it's hard to hear this, but basically anytime you're feeling a dis-ease, and depression, anxiety falls into that, that is your body communicating with you something incredibly important. I'm going to give you an example, personal example. One of the reasons, and I speak about this much more in my book, I was feeling depressed was that I felt a sense of not living the life I really wanted to be living. I felt disconnected, I felt scared, and I had relationships in my life that were not healthy. So depression was kind of an appropriate feeling to feel around these things. And that was my body, my mind, which is my body, telling me, we need to change some things around here. If I hadn't asked myself, why am I feeling depressed, and instead relied on medication, herbs to just not feel the depression, I wouldn't be where I am today, which is living my best desired life. So the first thing I would say to you is ask depression, ask anxiety. I've said this before in other videos about emotions. Ask the depression and anxiety, what are you trying to tell me? Why am I feeling this way? There can be some incredible answers there. If you're not sure how to ask, what I would sit with is the following questions. Ask yourself, when did this begin? When did I start feeling depressed or anxious? Number 2, what triggers my feelings of feeling really down or very anxious? Number 3, when do I not feel that way, if ever? What things pull me out of that? Answering these questions can begin to shed light on maybe why you are feeling the way you are and the underlying reason for this dis-ease that you can then address. You can take ashwagandha, drink hops tea, you can take St. John's wort, you can take Zoloft. I was on antidepressants for a while and my symptoms got better, but the underlying reason for my depression did not. And I had to heal myself outside of medication, and I'm really glad that I did. So while those things might be a useful bridge to not sink so low based on what you resonate with, I really, really appeal to you to realize that that dis-ease is trying to communicate with you something, and that something can be what transforms your life for to such a greater good. The second answer to the question about what food to eat if you want to heal depression or beat depression and anxiety is to definitely think about food. But rather than thinking of what do I need to be eating, think about what do I need to be eliminating. And I say that because our birthright, our standard, our homeostasis is wellness. We are well, vibrant creatures. That's our true state. And so if you are feeling dis-ease or a difference from that, instead of thinking, what can I take to get rid of the disease, think about what do I need to eliminate to get myself back to my true state. And I would absolutely start by looking at food. Food is something that we imbibe of every single day, at least the vast majority of us. So thinking about what things you're taking in that could be really keeping you off balance and making you anxious. I will share with you that every patient or client who comes to me with anxiety, if they are taking caffeine on a regular basis, that's one of the very first foods we completely eliminate. And it is astounding how well that works. So looking at things like caffeine for anxiety, but also looking at the foods you eat. Foods carry a very powerful energetic signature. All foods have them. And some foods carry certain energies and other foods don't. And it's really important that you just don't think about only macronutrients, how much fat, how many calories are in this food, or even micronutrients like, am I getting enough zinc or calcium? But also to consider, what is the energetic signature of this food? And if you eat your food mindfully, as I talk about a lot, you will begin to start tapping into that. So one example are greens. Green leafy vegetables are such a high vibratory food. They are also green food, which helps to open up and unblock our fourth chakra, our heart chakra. The heart chakra is unblocked and healed through green foods. And so I really recommend, if you're feeling depressed or anxious, to take in more green leafy vegetables, green juices, green smoothies. But also, again, look at what you need to eliminate. Foods that you feel sluggish after eating. Foods that come from a source in which there was a lot of pain. This is why a lot of people, I eliminate animal products from their diet when they're coming to me with depression and anxiety. Because if you're eating meat from an animal who has suffered greatly, has had a lot of pain because of the way it was raised and killed, what are you imbibing of? What do you think you're taking into your own body? So really considering that. So usually I will eliminate animal products, I will eliminate caffeine, and I will do an elimination diet of common allergenic foods. I usually eliminate gluten for a while to make sure somebody's not gluten intolerant. That's one example. But just taking a look in your own life at the things that you can eliminate food-wise that you notice after eating, you're feeling sluggish, you're feeling more depressed, you are feeling anxious. And that can make a huge difference. And then putting into your system things that raise your energy level, that keep you calm. Again, the greens. So outside of the greens that I mentioned, I can't speak highly enough of fruits. Whole, natural, ripe fruits, preferably organic. The energetic signature of fruits is extremely high and extremely healing and cleansing. And personally, when I started eating a fruit-based diet, a raw diet, but even if you're not eating a raw diet, just much more fruit, this is so high in antioxidants, and I can't recommend them highly enough for helping with depression and anxiety. But if you're eating a lot of fruits, but also eating a lot of meats and a lot of dairy, it can be hard to feel that change. So again, start by eliminating the other foods and then replacing that with things like fruits and greens. Another thing I love are some of the grounding foods like beets. Beets are a beautiful red food, and they help to unblock the first chakra, which is all about feeling safe and grounded. So if you're feeling extremely anxious, eating foods like this that help to unblock your first chakra can be really powerful. And the final tip, the final thing I want to share with you about what foods to eat is we spend a lot of time thinking about what we're putting into our mouths in terms of our meals. But food, I believe, is outside of that. I think food, we talk about primary food in Institute of Integrative Nutrition, where I studied. We talk about primary food meaning things outside of meals, our meals. Food can also be the way you move and how much you move. Food is nourishment from being in nature. Food is nourishment from the company you keep. Food is nourishment from grounding and earthing. Food is nourishment from time with yourself and connecting within. Food is nourishment by following the things that you love to do, following your passions. So remembering that the way you feed yourself is not just about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have a whole book coming out in a couple of months, or maybe less than that. And again, the book is called Delicious Healing. And it talks about other aspects of health outside of food. I include food for sure, but that were personally transformative for me. And one of that includes nature. And I'm sitting out here in nature. I try to do most of my videos in nature for a reason, because I think Mother Nature is one of the most incredibly healing forces that we have available to us. There have been studies that show that people who spend more time in nature, who take forest baths, who walk among the trees, who put their feet on the earth regularly, that their levels of elevated cortisol drop, that their sense of stress drops, that their feeling of depression gets much better. And I will link in the description box down below a couple of these studies for you to check out. But most of us don't need to look at the studies to know that. And I've personally felt that in my life. And if you are not privy to somewhere beautiful in nature in your day-to-day life, then you can bring nature into your life by having a picture on your wall of nature, by bringing elements of nature like seashells, a crystal, candle, and lighting it, which gives you the element of fire. Bringing that into your day-to-day life is so calming and so grounding. Nature is one of the best medicines, I think, for depression and for anxiety. So that is a type of food. So to recap, remember before running to herbs, which are beautiful. I love a great tonic for helping with mood. But before running to herbs or pharmaceutical medication for sure, or something else, please remember that there is something your body and mind is trying to communicate with you, and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Secondly, eliminate the foods that drag you down, that weigh you down, and replace them with energy full, vibration filled, light filled food. And thirdly, remember that food is outside of our meals, and surround yourself with people that support you. Surround yourself with nature that supports you, and feed yourself that way. So I hope this was helpful to you. I'm on the other side of that now, and I say it with such confidence and with such love. You can be here. One thing I want to say also is, please do not be afraid of seeking help. If you are feeling so low, there is nothing wrong, and in fact, I encourage you to seek help. I was in therapy for a while. I went through a few therapists that were not aligned with how I felt, and then I found a therapist that was. So persist. They are out there. There are people who are really gifted at this work, who are out there and whose purpose is to try to help you. So don't give up, and I hope that this video was part of that help for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please share it with anybody that you know might be struggling through this. Subscribe for more videos. I'm so excited to share more with you on this channel. More is coming. I will be sharing with you how I stay fit in the cold climate, an indoor exercise, movement, play routine. I'm coming with you about how I stay pain-free and easeful during my moon cycles. I'm coming to you also really soon with another Q&A, and definitely with more dance and poem dances and more about my book. Check out my webinars if you're interested, one on healing fibroids naturally, the other one about how to stay and be successful on a raw vegan or vegan diet. And I will leave all those links in the description box down below. I think this year is going to be amazing, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. I send you from Thailand, from Chiang Mai, so much love.